What's up, my dudes? Valkyrja. Today I want to talk to you about the Hall of Memories. I want to talk about it because the Forgotten Hall of Memories is the Abyss equivalent of this game. And you can see I finally got myself the Chaos Hall. The way I did it was through Fire MC and March and honestly just repeating till I get lucky. But now I've hit a brick wall to where I need to be able to do either enough damage to power through it, or I need to have a second healer to be able to actually take the damage that I hit or get hit with, because does it get really hard. I want to go ahead and describe it for you guys and go ahead and explain it so you guys can understand how it goes. We're going to start with the progression for those of you that are new, and I'm going to talk about it step by step, your rewards, what you can expect to get, etc. as we go ahead and go through it. So all the way up until floor 10, you can see floor 10, you're going to be going against just one side. You'll only need one team. You can clear all the way up to floor 10 per team, and for every 3 stars you get 200 jades. Yummy. But every time you clear one, you get relic XP. You get these light cores, which you'll be able to use, or lucent afterglows, which you'll be able to use for light cones at the express messenger, and you'll get some XP, some relic XP, or light cone XP, excuse me, and some credits. You'll just get a bunch of XP to be able to go ahead and help you progress. But most importantly, this is pretty good, and I'll get into some good options here in a bit. But this is basically it. So you'll be going against one team, or you only need one team till floor 10. Then floor 11 comes the start of needing 2 teams. Now my advice is, like I said in the last videos, pick 4 to 6 characters, level them up all the way, and bring 2 characters or 3 characters on one side, 3 characters on another side. You don't need to bring 4. Most of the time I was able to clear sides with literally just Clara and March, and then I would run Natasha, Seele, Fire MC, and basically somebody else on the other side. Natasha or Fire MC to keep aggro on them, to keep aggro off the other character I would bring to weakness break and help Seele burn stuff down, because Seele is the major damage. And then I have a floating set that I also used. I kind of floated a set between characters. Right now it's on Dan Hang because I was using him to go ahead and basically try to beat other bosses that I really shouldn't be able to fight, but that way a character is able to go ahead and fight enemies and have weakness, and I can go ahead and proc weakness that much better. So I had a floating set. I would move around other damage dealers to help try to deal with weakness, because I have every character in the game almost built. So we went ahead and I was doing that, and that's kind of how you're going to do it all the way to 15. 15, you're going to be going against Kakolia and Japard. Here you can see physical, imagination, lightning, and then quantum, lightning, fire. So imagination is kind of out the box for almost everybody. Nobody really has welt. Welt's a very rare get, and so you're really limited to just physical and lightning here, quantum and lightning here, quantum and fire. This is why I was bringing Fire MC. Fire MC is pretty good for breaking weakness, and breaking weakness at key points is kind of way you were able to do stuff. I brought Serval for this too. I used Serval because she was able to go ahead and proc or break the ice pillars very easily. So that's how I beat stage 15. And like I said, this side was just Clara and March, and solely Clara and March, nobody else. All I used was Clara and March. I was able to beat that. Obviously not within the time frame, but I was able to win with no more than 1 down character. So it does take me a little bit longer than the time frame because I haven't properly invested in my damage dealers yet. And now we're at the Hall of Chaos. Now I want to explain how the Hall of Chaos works. This is your Spiral Abyss. Hall of Chaos resets every 14 days, essentially. It's bi-monthly. It's just like Spiral Abyss. And you also have a ley line disorder, well, memory turbulence here. The beginning of each cycle randomly causes an ally following the path of Hunt or the path of Erudition to take action immediately, and increases their damage dealt by 50% for 1 turn. So Hunt or Erudition just essentially just get an extra turn, which is really, really good. Now, the way this works is a little different. So the way this works is you have to fight 2 big enemies, which will be these 2. These 2 are the elite enemies that you have to fight. You have to fight 2 big enemies with 2 teams. So as in 2 sides, there's 4 big enemies total, 4 fights total. You get 40 cycles to try to beat it, and you have to bring 2 teams. So this is where it starts to get hard and starts to challenge your resources and starts to challenge the amount of teams you have. Of course, I'm not expecting to beat this for a long time. Especially with me spreading my resources very thin. But you can see here you have a Silver Main Lieutenant, you have Japard as the main enemies you have to fight, and then Guardian Shadow and Decaying Shadow as the main enemies you have to fight. So you have to bring teams that can deal with that. I tried it. I cleared this one fairly easily, but then whenever it came to Clara with Japard, Japard absolutely nuked me. I didn't have enough uptime on anything, so he was just running through March's shield. It was really rough. It was a rough time. So, whenever you beat this, you're going to be able to do this bi-monthly, and you can get up to 600 Jades if you're able to do all 30 stars. And you get this also bi-monthly, which is really great. This is a bunch of XP, a bunch of Relic XP, currency, or credits, and then the Lucent Afterglow, the light cone stuff. So, once you get to the point where you can start clearing this, it's just an extra 600 little jimmies every 14 days or so. So now let's talk about the actual shop, the Light Cone Manifest shop. Let's go ahead and talk about it and see what's good in it. So there's a bunch of weapons. Now this is just my opinion. I haven't tried them all out, but I think basically all 4 of these are very good, and I think this one's pretty good too. Let's go through one by one and I'll show you what I mean. This one is at the start of the wearer's turn, regenerates 8 energy for a randomly chosen ally whose current energy is lower than 50%. At max level, it's 16 energy, which ends up being a pretty substantial amount. But the fact that it's randomly chosen means if you have low ults on like Pyro MC and Sela, and you're wanting Sela to execute, it could give it the Pyro MC. So it's just something that I don't think is like crazy. Then we have the Nihility one, which I think is pretty good. Increases the break effect dealt by the wearer by 32%. Increases their damage to enemies afflicted with shock or wind by 32%. This also applies to DOT. I think this is going to be really, really good for Kafka, obviously, as a budget option. So if you plan on getting Kafka, this could be a good budget option to look at for Light Cone. We go to We Are Wildfire. This is Preservation. At the start of the battle, the damage dealt to all allies decreases by 16% for 5 turns. At the same time, immediately restores HP to all allies equal to 50% of respective HP. This one's okay. This one's not crazy, but I don't think it's bad either because it's good damage reduction at the start for 5 turns to let you set up. However, it could end up being very poor depending on how long the fight goes. Obviously, the longer the fight goes on, the worse that is. Then we go to the Hunt one. This one's actually really, really good. After entering battle, increases the wearer's speed by 12% and damage by 24%. When the wearer takes damage, this effect will disappear. This effect will resume after, so 2 turns this goes off. It goes off for the current turn and the turn after, if you get hit. So as long as you're running Pyro MC or Japard or some way to draw aggro off of your Hunt character, and you position him correctly so the Hunt character is less likely to get hit by AoEs, this could potentially be very, very good. Potentially. 12% increase in speed is nothing to laugh at, and 24% extra damage, of course, is very nice. Potentially good, nothing crazy. Now, here's the one I personally think is really, really cracked, the one I'm giga investing in. This is for Harmony characters. When the wearer uses their skill, the next ally taking action deals 32% increased damage for 1 turn. Bronya, that's all I really have to say. Bronya, use Bronya's skill, they get 32% damage. This is really, really nuts, especially if you can line up speed to where you can line it up to where one character is always going to follow up a Harmony character and you get a proper rotation with your team. This could be absolutely insane in the right setups. I see a lot of potential in this one, but in the end, it still takes some thinking, right? So this one's Destruction. Increases the wearer's attack by 20%, increases their damage to enemies inflicted with burn or bleed by 32%. It's the exact same thing as Fermata. It's something that's very situational, but if you can actually deal with it, or if you can proc the situation, then it could be very beneficial for you. It all just depends on whether or not you're in that situation or not. And then Breakfast. So let's go ahead. Seriousness of Breakfast. Increases the wearer's damage by 24%. For every defeated enemy, the wearer's attack increases by 8%, stacking up to 3 times. Up to 24% here. For Erudition, this is really good. This is a really, really, really good option, especially with Jin Yuan coming. If you want a good budget option for Light Cone, this is a good option for him. So that's my thoughts on that. Hall of Memories is, in my opinion, it's pretty challenging. This is the in-game content. Once we can beat this, there's literally nothing else. So this is going to take some time for me to beat personally. I don't know about you guys, but I'm happy just being in the Hall of Chaos now, so I can see what the rewards are, and I can tell you guys what the rewards are. But yeah, it's going to take quite a while before we get to a point where we're actually able to full clear at 30 stars. To the first person who clears this 30 stars, I salute you, because I believe this goes up to level 87, and it's the exact same as this stuff, to where you need 2 teams, and then there's multiple floors, multiple waves. It gets really, really, really challenging in the later floors, and I can't wait to actually be having access to it, because it seems like a lot of fun. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Are you guys pushing the Hall of Chaos yet? Or are you guys still in the regular Hall of Memories? Let me know. Anyways, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.